Hi there. Um, I'm very aware of two issues that a number of you have talked to me about with relation to how you communicate with patients. The first is postage. The cost of sending a letter seems to be just going up all the time. And so I think most practices, ourselves included, are really keen to reduce the amount that we post and increase the amount we do via Comms Annex. The second issue, though, is that we've got some ICBs who are saying, hang on a minute, you guys are sending loads of messages. Our systems very deliberately encourage you to do that because we think communicating with patients proactively, actually for the NHS as a whole, is a really good use of resources. It can reduce the calls in that come from patients, it can save on appointments, and for a patient themselves, knowing what's going on and having plenty of info is hopefully really helpful. So this week I've been doing some work on things we can do to improve and increase the number of patients that we can text and email instead of posting. So we're starting work on a new kind of admin module. So we've put this folder in Wellbe Innovate admin. For now, at least, this is available for everyone. Some of the things in here will be a kind of paid for service, but more info on that soon. So the first issue we've got is to do with consent. These are fairly low numbers and fairly sort of straightforward to resolve. In our systems, if a patient has either dissented from text messaging, by which I mean in here they've done this dissent option, or it's been coded as dissented in your organization without a more recent code to say they do consent, our systems won't currently text them. That's a bit of a problem because some patients have actually got a mixed set of consents. So they might have got a dissent coded, and that might be years ago, but they're set to consent on here. So currently, our system wouldn't invite those patients using the Comms Annex, at least not in a bulk way. If you look then at these reports here, these ones are arguably straightforward and no need to review. So they've consented here with a code in the last 3 months, but it looks like someone's done that, or it's been done in a questionnaire, something like that, but they're sent to dissent. So those couple you could probably bulk change. Let me show you how to do that, although I think it's not going to let me do it while I've got a patient open. Oh no, it is fine. So I'm going to just change that to be consent. Fine, good. These ones, again, it's a sort of mixed picture. You might need to look at them. What I've done here is I've broken down when the dissent was coded. And you can see some of these are a long time ago. These are real patients, so I'm not going to show you their record, but on this test patient, if I come to the admin tab and miscellaneous flags, I can actually see when they were set to have message consented. So if, for example, the dissent was coded 5 years ago, but last week it was changed on the settings, then I could reasonably override that code. And I would do that, I guess, by coding, was it consent for SMS? Yeah, and that would then override that, and our systems would start sending it. You'd also know if it was starting to work and send it if you're using our admin module completely, because you'd see the send SMS icon up here. Coming out of that and going back to those reports. So that particular list needs a little bit of work and digging through. May or may not be worth it. It's not as quick and easy as the next bit we're going to look at, but it might be worth doing. So next we've got a really frustrating issue in System 1, and a couple of sort of related things here. First of all, if a patient happens to have an email recorded but no mobile number, you can't report on that to say these patients have got an email and we can text them. Sorry, we can email them, even though they've not got a mobile number. So patients in this report here, 363 at this particular practice, currently wouldn't be included in our reports to say, let's bulk send them a text, i.e. they'd be getting a letter. However, some of them will have email addresses recorded, may prefer to have email as their preferred method, and there's not a lot you can do right now. So we're doing two things. First of all, how actually put a development request on for TPP, not holding my breath, but asking them to enable the ability to change the way we report and report on the fact that someone has got an email address recorded. But you can break it down. So if I break this report down, go to demographics and do email address recorded, I can see that out of these patients, there are 75 who have got an email address recorded. Now, in this report, we have excluded all sorts of things like we're only looking at adults. We've excluded patients who, I don't know, have had a recent cancer diagnosis or bereavement or things like that. Things that probably mean they just want to be left in peace. You can look at the report structure if you want. In fact, I can do that from here. So these are patients who we currently can't send the message to. Their preferred communication method is unknown, and they're not in various exclusions like care homes, palliative, and so on, to send this message. So what I'm going to do then is bulk send a new preset that we've done. And the preset is imaginatively named preferred communication method. Now, normally we'd click use preferred method, but actually here we're deliberately, we don't know what their preferred method is. We don't know if we can text them, but we do know we can email them. So we're going to send it via email. And the other thing I'm going to do, if it asks the question, is I'm going to remove the patients from the list that don't have a verified email address. So because this is going to potentially enable us to email these patients for all sorts of things in the future, for now at least, I'm going to say yes to removing these patients. Just to explain as well, attached to this is a really simple questionnaire that we've done that simply asks, what's your preferred communication method, SMS or email? It adds some codes, and I'll show you what we'll do next. I'm going to pause the video when I click yes, because this might take a few minutes, and it will show me patient names. So we're back in a sec. So that's done. Obviously, the preset has coded that message as well, and that will remove those patients from that report for the next 4 weeks. Now, much bigger numbers are patients who we can send a Comms Annex preset to, but they don't have a preferred communication method recorded. For this particular practice, you can see, and this is quite typical from what I'm seeing, the vast majority of patients, we don't know what their preferred method is. And it may be that lots of the patients in here are happy to have an email. Now, the advantage of an email, obviously, if it's a patient's preference, then good to use that. It won't break it up into separate parts, but also it won't cost the ICB anything, at least as far as I understand it. So if we break this one down, again, same sort of thing, we break down on email address recorded. Now, because we've got 2,000 in there, we're not going to be able to send 2,000 at a time. You may know that the limit is 500 at a time. Just for demonstration purposes, you could, I suppose, break it down by month of birth. That would also work, and kind of group a few together. But again, yeah, you could send those in bulk, and that's what in fact I did yesterday. And our automated bot, in fact, actually I got an automated bot to send them because it takes a while to send. And our bot called ARPA has been busy filing lots of those yesterday. And just yesterday filed, you can see there, what's that, about 650 responses. So what we're going to do now is that these responses basically mean they have completed the questionnaire in the last few months, and the answers have given us that they prefer email, but that's not currently set. So all we do, actions, record preferred communication method, and we're going to change that to email. That then means that those 200 odd patients, when we bulk send Comms Annex, it will default to sending them an email rather than defaulting to send them an SMS. It is also worth recording it for the SMS. You may have come across the issue where if a patient, I can't remember exactly when it happens, I think it's like if they join up with a third-party service and you get a task come in and you action it, and it says, do you want to inform the patient? You click yes, and then it says, oh, they've not got a preferred method set, you'll have to contact them. So even if it's simply recording the fact that they do prefer SMS, that's still useful data, and will improve the way that information flows. We've only just literally this week developed this and started doing it. Our hope is that maybe out of a list of, say, 10,000, maybe we can get 1,000 patients, maybe a few thousand receiving emails instead of text messages. and hopefully that will help. Open to more ideas, do let us know as ever, and I hope this helps. Thanks.